Hi guys, it's Matthias, and today I want to share some thoughts about the rising popularity of Trump, why that is, and it's a great opportunity to do it right here because I'm Swedish, this is Sweden, and this is where the most famous statement in Sweden from Trump happened from. Behind me here we have Biskopsgården, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later on. So, I'm following the discussions in the news, the debates about Trump and about Biden, the upcoming election, and one of my conclusions, one of my explanations to the rising popularity of Donald Trump is, I'm going to explain this with a bit of an analogy. Think of yourself with your friends, your family on a day like this, a beautiful day like this. Maybe you're on the beach, maybe you're chilling in an outdoor restaurant. You're having a good time, you're feeling good, you're feeling healthy, everything is good. And think of yourself like this, in a situation like that. Have you ever said, or have you ever heard anybody else say, you know what I really want now is some penicillin. That's what I need. Yeah, maybe I should go to the doctor, fake some coughing, make up a story so that he can prescribe some antibiotics, because that's what I really want now. I want some antibiotics. Have you ever thought those thoughts? Have you ever heard anybody say that? No, you haven't. However, if you are sick, you got a sore throat, you got a fever, you're coughing, you're feeling bad, you're weak, and you want nothing else than to get well again in order to, get out on a beautiful summer day like this. Now, you and basically everybody else in the world is going to be pretty grateful that we have something called penicillin. This is an analogy that I think fits with the popularity of Trump, why people vote for Trump. We see in America so many enormous problems happening, and they're happening because of decisions made by those that are against Trump. Now, there's a lot of controversial topics involved in that. I'm not going to get into the details, but I want to focus on why Trump is right, why the conservatives and the Trump and the Trump alike political parties in Europe are also gaining a lot of support. We saw the EU election where Sweden was actually a big exception, but overall in Europe, the European election, we had a big win for the conservative side of the political party or the political spectrum. And of course we have the Argentinian version of MAGA, Make Argentina Great Again, with Milei. Very fascinating guy. I wish I knew more about him, but that's another example of the symptom that makes Trump so popular. Now, what's interesting, what just caught my attention was that the trials against Donald Trump, there are more and more people that now consider the trials to be weaponized justice system, where the Biden administration is using the justice system and they weaponize it against a political opponent, something that is basically unheard of in a Western democracy. And what's interesting about this is that roughly 60% or even more than 60% of people in New York says that they believe that that's the case. Now keep in mind, Trump is from New York, and according to, well, the likes of Robert De Niro, maybe not the most reliable source, but Trump is apparently not very popular in his own town, in his own home state. But even in New York, which is very left-leaning, very democratic-leaning. 60% of New Yorkers believe that the justice system is now being rigged, it's being weaponized against a political opponent from the sitting government. That is quite big. So that's my short version, my short explanation of why I believe Trump is gaining more and more popularity. Now, the reason why I made the video here, I want to come back to that now, is well, you see the tall building over there? That's Karlatornet. I've shown that in some previous videos. In front of Karlatornet you have some other tall buildings. They don't look so tall in comparison, of course. We see they're gray with a purple stripe in the middle. That's the area called Biskopsgården. In Biskopsgården, before Donald Trump was elected in 2016, the news outlet Fox News made a segment about how immigrants in this area were throwing rocks at the police. What I don't think was actually brought up was that many times they actually they make the 911 call, calling for an ambulance, calling for the fire department. This for the purpose of throwing rocks at these blue-collar workers. There's been countless of examples of this, which Swedish media has been having a harder and harder time hiding, even though the first 10 years or 15 years or so, they were very successful at hiding it, but it's quite well known facts by now. So Donald Trump famously said, "You look at what's happening last night in Sweden." He was referring to what happened over in Biskopsgården. And unfortunately, just about a year ago, or a little more than a year ago, a 33-year-old police officer was killed in line of duty in the very same area, you know, doing his job, protecting the rest of us from criminals. So yeah, it's surprising that, I mean, there are crimes happening over there basically every day. I mean, heavy crimes happening there. The gangs are basically have more or less taken over that area and several other areas. But it's very unusual that this reaches the international stage, so the international news outlets. But yeah, it felt like a fitting area to make this video. Yeah, I also brought I took a bike here, so I'm out biking. Love biking nowadays. I'm gonna go to the beach, a rocky coast beach, quite soon. Hopefully I'll make a couple of good videos for you there also. And yeah, this is Gothenburg from an elevated position. You've seen this area from I did some winter shorts from here. Now of course you get to see it in the summer. Thank you for watching.